I think that makes sense because that's kind of like my follow-up question. It kind of leads into like, the future FTX conversation, right? But so you guys have a Pintu token, right?
Yeah.
And so other people have their tokens. And I guess one more definition. Tokens, are they different than stable coins?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
So tokens, again, goes back to the tokenomic design, takes many flavors and many forms. But generally speaking, they're very much different stablecoins. Stablecoins are built basically to mimic a stable currency, a stable form of value, whether it is a specific national currency or tied to a basket of currencies or a basket of assets. But the idea is that crypto and different types of tokens are too volatile to be used on a day-to-day basis for day-to-day transactions, right? So we need a stable form of currency or value that is native to blockchains that can be used to transact, that has a stable form of value. And stable coins itself could be unpacked to multiple different types, right? You've got the asset-backed stable coins similar to like Tether, USDC, or Rupiah token, where it's one-to-one asset backed by fiat currency sitting in the bank account. That's like one form of stablecoin. You've got another form of stablecoins, which are algorithmic stablecoins, whose value is determined by an algorithm, and the assets within and the assets that are tied to that stablecoin is bought and sold depending on the algorithm as well. So you've got a few different types of stable coins out there, but the functional goal is the same. So to have a stable form of value within the blockchain ecosystem.
Okay.
Whereas your tokens like Pintu token, whether it is like Binance's token, BNB, or FTX, they fluctuate in value based on the demand and supply in the market, based on their tokenomic design, and a host of other factors.
All right. So then I wanted to get into a little bit more into tokens, starting off with you guys have a token, right? The Pintu token. And so can you kind of describe, why was it important for you guys to create one, and what is kind of like your vision for it?
Sure. Our whole vision for it from the very beginning was to engage our community. At the end of the day, I think one of the biggest assets that a project within the crypto ecosystem has is the community. And we want to engage the community by using Pintu token, by providing rewards and loyalty mechanism for users who owns Pintu token and who takes Pintu token to get rewards on our exchange or brokerage. And so the idea is basically very simple, which is to drive engagement.
Okay. And just help me understand, when you say drive rewards, right? It's to reward some kind of engagement on the platform. Like, give me an example.
Sure. So users hold a certain number of Pintu tokens. They get free withdrawals, bonuses on referrals, a free number of sendouts on the blockchain, items that we hope that will benefit the users.
And the tokens have monetary value, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And so I guess this is starting to like segue into kind of like the FTX situation, right? Where in a nutshell, right, the FTX has their own token, or had their own token. I don't know what context it is right now, due to some competitor situations, right? A competitor invested in them, then they were repaid in tokens, and then they sold some, and then things started to collapse, right? So there's a lot of fraud there. We can recap it later, right? But what was the crux of that problem, first off, right? Like, can you explain that to people in layman's terms?
Yeah, I think the crux of the problem wasn't necessarily that they had a token. The problem was that they borrowed a lot of money from different lenders within the ecosystem and collateralized their own tokens for that purpose. And so when all the lenders, called back the loans, and they've used the money for other purposes, and the only collateral left for the lenders to sell out is FTT, like the price cratered, and the lenders were stuck with basically non-performing loans to FTX or Alameda. That's one thing that happened, right? But it wasn't just one thing, right, Jesse? And there's also a number of things. They also went out and used their customers' assets and use that for a bunch of purposes, whether it was to invest into Robinhood shares, whether it was to invest into different types of companies, whether it is to provide a loan to their own shareholders. There was a bunch of, illegal activities that also happened in the background. And so what happened when customers tried to redeem their money, there weren't any money left within FTX.
Got it. So it wasn't, the concept of the token shouldn't be something that people are afraid of or hesitant about, right? It was the players who created it. They were doing fraudulent activities, which caused their exchange to collapse, right? That's kind of like the nutshell version of it.
Yeah, basically.